ding 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 ding.
Fubble Time.
Hey, I am Comey and
I am Patrick Ziegler.
We are
Fubble Entertainment.
And this is
Fubble Time.
We're keeping our fingers crossed. We're both in Florida right now. I'm up in Bradenton. Patrick's in Naples. Our guests are in New York. We're in the middle of a hurricane.
Yes.
It's now a tropical storm warning. I think the category 1 has gone down and now we're tropical storm. So,
but we've had some technical stuff before we started. So we're going to just say everything's going to stay.
We're going to pray to the theater gods.
Yes.
Just now. Pray to the theater gods because we don't want you to miss out on our next guest.
No, we have amazing theatrical couple. This month is theatrical couples. And just sharing some fun New York stories. I'm like, oh my gosh, we could just talk forever already.
I know.
So you start with the introduction.
I will. I get the privilege and honor of introducing Liz Larson, who was most recently on Broadway as Jeannie Klein as Carole's mother in the role she originated and played for nearly 6 years in Beautiful, the Carole King Musical. She has a list of Broadway credits that begin, I believe, with close to begin, with The Most Happy Fella, for which she received the Tony Drama Desk Outer Circle Award nominations and the Los Angeles Dramalogue Award for Best Featured Actress.
Amazing.
I know. She's got just mad skills on the Broadway stage. She also has mad skills off Broadway. If you know Liz Larson, you've seen her in a variety of different.
Well, it's interesting. Real quick, I'm going to interject because Kevin, our consistent viewer, says my partner Jim said he saw Liz in Starmites and Sal in Romance.
Oh, look at that. We've got fans joining us already. I love it. Liz, also, Patrick and I are working to try to condense these massive bios. On television, she's been seen on Mr. Robot as the longtime mistress of Bernie Madoff in the ABC TV movie Madoff. Saw her in that, great. She has been on The Americans, Bunheads. She was for 10 years on Law and Order. Her credits also include being a soloist with symphonic pops orchestras all over the world, from the New York Pops at Carnegie Hall to Gothenburg Symphony in Sweden. She is a phenom. She is a proud parent to 2 beautiful sons, Alessandro and Joseph, and she calls her husband her dreamboat. So Pat gets to introduce the dreamboat, and maybe we'll even get to meet Finn while we're on the call today.
Well, wonderful. And so Sal, whom the New York Times recently called a luxuriant vocalist with effortless style, I love that, has sung over 500 pop concerts with nearly 200 symphony orchestras at concert halls all around the world. Very important, he's a Detroit native, but he began his career in Chicago as a teenager, opening for great comedian guests, which I love that. And my other thing is that he also went to Eastern Illinois University on a football scholarship and winning a national championship. He taught high school and worked and entertained Nippersink Manor Resort in Genoa City, Wisconsin. Jump forward to going to Broadway, and The Three Musketeers was his debut in 1984. And he co-starred in Romance, City of Angels, one of my favorite, Falsettos, one of my favorite, and The Life, and also The Full Monty. And I had a good friend in The Life we'll have to talk about. And also off Broadway in Closer Than Ever, which is another one of my favorites.
With Sam, who's been on our show.
Right. Who directed and choreographed.
Yeah.
And he Sal won a Broadway award for Best Actor and an Off-Broadway Alliance Award. He's done a ton of tours. He's done a ton of theater. He did, I wonder if he did the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat with some friends as well. But he also, my very favorite musical, Sunday in the Park with George, He
Yes.
won the Helen Hayes Award as Best Actor.
And Liz
He was
was
nominated for that. Okay.
Liz was nominated too.
I know. I saw that.
Oh.
So he goes on to do a ton of stuff. So let's just bring them in.
Oh, and we have something else really cool that we have in our question list that we have.
Oh, wait a minute. He does a show called Perfectly Frank, A Century of Sinatra, which sounds fantastic. So
Yeah.
what were you going to say?
I just want to say we got to talk about the Friars Club too, because that fascinates me. Okay.
Okay. And without further ado, let them talk about themselves. Here they are. Hi, guys.
Wow. Wow. You guys did your homework.
Wow.
You
Well-
have and we did the condensed version. I mean, that's insane.
Except I have to say, I won the Helen Hayes Award
You did.
for Sunday in the Park.
She did.
You did?
He was nominated. I won.
You
Oh.
want to know
However-
I'll say.
However, she did not thank me. She did not thank me in her speech.
I did. I did.
You want to know, Liz? When we have local awards. So full disclosure, my husband is related to Sal Viviano. They are
He
cousins.
sure is.
Puggy.
And Puggy Stella. And Puggy Stella won a local award. They have like the Grand Awards locally. And when they announced his name, he stood up and hugged his director in front of him and like just didn't pay any attention to me. Ran up on stage. I was like, whatever.
That's
Oh
the
my
spouse's way. You know, it's all business,
Yeah,
baby.
But no, you get nervous. I talked about breastfeeding when I
Yeah,
won.
she talked about
That was
breastfeeding on the
crazy.
stage of the
So-
Kennedy Center, but did not mention her husband, who was
It
like,
was-
you know,
Well, that's
the guy with the beard.
not to bring you into at that point.
Yeah.
So did you win for Dot?
Yeah.
And you were George?
And I was George and did not win. Again, I did not win.
No,
You were
but
nominated, and you got to play those roles, which is one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
that was really amazing.
Oh
It's
my
like-
God. It's such a gift to the actors who get to play it. It's just it's a love letter to the theater and to art and to being an artist
Yeah.
in such a big way, and to be and just the humanity of the show. It's so beautifully written. It was a thrill.
Lyrics for Move On are just some of the most beautiful lyrics. And real quick, I met Stephen Sondheim at a party. And
Wow.
yeah, and we had in my wedding, we took a part of the lyrics. Look at all you've done for me, understand the light, notice every tree. And so when I met him, I told him the story and he was really taken aback by it. Steve Wallum, who you know.
Yeah.
Liz. So Steve
Love
was when I met Stephen Sondheim. So then Stephen Sondheim says to me, well, what lyrics did you use? And I thought, oh my God, I've got to quote Stephen Sondheim's own lyrics.
Better get it right.
I did.
That was
Good.
good.
Oh, those lyrics are just brilliant. And actually, they did an update of the show. He and Lapine made some changes to it because the time had passed when we did it. It was 96,
97.
97,
Six.
97,
Oh my God.
97. I'm terrible
was
with
4
the
months
dates.
old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was breastfeeding our
That's why I
older
talked about
son,
breastfeeding.
Alessandro. And so when I'd have to try and close the we had Pat Ziprod, who had done the original costumes, did our costumes as well. And so the mechanical dress was actually Bernadette's mechanical dress, the original one.
Ah,
So at a point where she comes out of the dress and she says, I was in the follies, does all that stuff. And then she has to get back in the dress and I have to close it. If she hadn't breastfed before the show, I couldn't close the dress. Not good. And yet I'd still have to. It was mechanical.
I love that.
Cheers.
Those are the stories. Those are the theater stories we live for.
Yeah. That's why I'd say sorry.
I mean, it was so fun to read your bios because you've done so many of my favorite shows. I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh, Lynn Stella's here. And
Phil-
Hey.
Phil's
And
right
Lynn.
here.
then, hello.
Family. Yes.
I know,
So,
familia.
so Teresa's husband is not only my cousin, he's first cousins with my mom, and then he was my sponsor for my confirmation. I asked him he was the coolest guy I knew, so I asked him to be my sponsor because I'll tell a short Fred Stella story. So I think I was 9. We were in Jessup, Pennsylvania visiting because a big part of the family lived there, and Fred decided that we were going to take a long walk one day. And he took me, I think I was 9, so he would have been about 14, 15 maybe. And we walked to the next town over, Dunmore. It would have been better if it's Peckville, and you'll see why in the story, which is also a town nearby. Because he had somehow, this is way before cell phones, internet, he had somehow met a girl in Dunmore, and he wanted to go visit the girl, so he thought he'd take his dopey little cousin, me. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. We were gone for like, I don't know, 8 hours or something. The whole family was driving around these towns like looking for us on foot. So Fred got in a little trouble, but he never said like he just handled it. And so then the next year or when it happened, I said, will you be my sponsor? So I love Fred Stella. He's an amazing guy.
Amazing.
Can you share what Fred Stella just posted too?
Is that Fred Stella? Because it says,
of course. I don't know why he's coming up as Facebook user, but he says, I've been telling people for years that I was the confirmation sponsor for a winner of the Helen Award. Now I have to email about 3,000 people and tell them he was just
missed it by that much.
Oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
You could have said you were the confirmation. You were the confirmation sponsor for the spouse of the winner of the Helen Hayes Award.
That's right.
there you go.
Change the story a little, Fred. That's perfect.
So I want to know. I want to go in the way back machine. How did you guys both? I mean, your careers are theatrical and in entertainment, but they're also in offshoots. They're not. It's not just theater. I mean, you're singing. It's singing, but it's acting. It's comedy, but it's soloist. I mean, it's kind of all over the place. So, how did you each individually know you were going to do this for your? As a way of life? I mean, were you born, did you come out singing? Were you a singer as a little kid? Like how did your entertainment journey start?
Well, I grew up doing local theater at the Bucks County Playhouse because my mother was the press agent. So anytime they needed a little kid in like The King and I or something. So I was always kind of around it. And then I joined a little theater company for children there. So I was always doing it and always knew I would do it growing up.
Plus her grandfather, her mother's father, was a famous vaudevillian and was like a big star in vaudeville and then in two reelers as well, had his own radio program.
Two reelers?
Yeah. So, I mean, well, way back.
No, it's true.
Georgie Price was his name. He was 5'2", but like a giant star. 5'2", imagine. That's little for a guy.
Yeah.
We have a Kent and Sue Gordon say, watching live, great to see you both. Love you.
Sue Gordon
Love
is my
too.
sister, Sue. My sister and her husband, Kent. Yeah, they live in Abington, Illinois.
And I just got a text from Maria Elena Garcia,
yeah.
Stella, who just
Another cousin.
What time should I be watching the show? It's on
Cousins by the dozens.
I
Love you, Sue and Kent. Love you, Maria Elena.
It's going to become a Stella reunion.
Yeah.
You know what those are like.
This is the easy way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Sal? So were you around the theater as a kid? I love the football part of it because I didn't have a scholarship by any means, but I did play football, basketball, track, and
track scholarship. Didn't you go to school on a track scholarship?
did, and they ended track the year that I got there.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Well, I came from a family of athletes, but we had a lot of music in our family. And in fact, my mother's brother, Dominic Cosa, was a world-class lyric baritone, operatic lyric baritone, still living, still singing fabulously, but now in his mid-80s. And he was an extraordinary singer. I mean, recorded with Pavarotti and Sutherland and Sills and all the greats. And I saw him in operas with them. And so had that. And then a dancer. I have a cousin who was a Broadway dancer, about 10 Broadway shows, Carole King, an amazing Fred's, and these are Fred's relatives as well. So Teresa's relatives as well. But not really firsthand in the business. But then I just, I started singing because we sang around the house, and then kind of more serious. I won't give you the whole story, but through kind of a trick, got into the high school choir, kind of on a bet, and then I really loved it. I mean, I really loved it, and kind of just got lucky from there, and went to college at Eastern Illinois, got a teaching degree, but also an opera performance degree. Why? I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. See what you learn.
Opera.
See what you learn on Fubble Time. You should tune in.
I just don't listen. It's not
That's true. Anyway, so then out of school, I got my union cards in Chicago while I was teaching high school. I taught at Glenbrook North High School and Glenbrook South, but in Glenview, Illinois. And then auditioned and got some commercials, and then got my equity card at the Marriott Lincolnshire.
Oh, sure.
In a show called Shenandoah.
Oh my God.
And and then literally I was standing at the equity office paying my dues, paying my annual dues, and I waiting in line, picked up the backstage, and I saw that they were having auditions for the Three Musketeers in New York, and I thought, I want to go see my cousin Karen, and she was in Zorba at the time with Anthony Quinn on Broadway, and I thought I'm going to go and stay with her a couple of days, and I'll audition while I'm there. Why not? So I actually did. I called Karen. I said, "Can I stay with you?" "Yep." "Can I?" And so I actually went to an audition for the Three Musketeers, and then I got called back. But I said, "Oh, I have to be back in Chicago to teach." And so anyway, I went back for a callback, and over the next 8 months, went back 6 times.
Oh my God.
Back and forth from Chicago. So, and then eventually got it.
It was an open call that you got it?
It was an open call. And not only was it an open call, it was at the equity office. And, and I did that stupid thing where you wait in line all day and everybody's doing 8 bars, 16 bars, and in and out. That door barely closed and it opened again and they were coming back out. So I went in and literally sang, take my ham, I'm a strange little parasite, instead of, yeah. Can you believe it? I'm thinking I'm gonna make an impression. I mean, how stupid. But I sang
so stupid.
I sang a big high B flat at the end of the whole thing. So they were like, "Oh, this idiot," but wow, he can sing. So I picked up my music off the piano and I was walking out the door and they said, "Oh, no, wait." Anyway, I ended up singing 3 songs, and then they asked me if I could come back later in the week. I couldn't. So they gave me sides to come back the next day.
You couldn't.
And,
I love that.
And Tom O'Horgan, the director, happened to be in the room for whatever reason that day. A Broadway director is never in the room that first time. It just never happens. It was just dumb luck.
Well,
it's dumb luck. It's dumb luck. It's showing up, and it's obviously there's some talent. I mean, yes, people get through without talent. We've all seen that, but it's, especially on Broadway, it's few and far between. I mean, if you're up there, you've worked pretty hard for it.
So when we got to New York, I mean, I know I did, and I know Sal did after Three Musketeers when he was living here. I would get up at 5 a.m, 5 days a week, and go sit outside Equity and make the unofficial list, because the audition, you didn't?
No.
Oh, well, I did. And a lot of my peers did. Vicky and I did it together. I did it with her, and that's how I met her. Faith Prince and Barbara Walsh. We were all doing it at the same time, and we would sign up at 5 a.m, and we would sit on the street outside and wait for the official list to go up. And we did open calls. That's how I got my first job, Fiddler on the Roof.
Wow.
Yeah, an open call.
How did you two meet?
Go ahead. You tell it.
You can do the Reader's Digest condensed version. What?
Okay.
It seems like a painful story, or have you told it so much?
Yeah. Well, it's just there's different levels to how we met. It's like, how did we meet? How do we re-meet? How do we fall in love? How we actually met was I saw him in auditions and stuff, and I would go, God, that guy is so hot, and I would never have approached him because and I was right. He was dating models and all kinds of those kinds of people that he was very intimidating to me because he was.
But specifically, we met, actually spoke, and actually were in the same room auditioning for a show that she ended up doing on Broadway called Starmites. And we read opposite each other and had to sing a little bit opposite each other. And it was Liz and, this 2 or 3 other girls that had gotten down to the wire, and me and two or three other guys. And then we were offered it opposite each other. This was to do a production before the Broadway production.
Oh, wow.
And then I read it and I thought, I don't get it. I just didn't get it at all. It was like a comic book. I really didn't get it. I mean, I didn't get it.
That's
I didn't get it.
Says.
It's true.
What really happened? First of all, I'm not sure you were offered it. That's one thing. The second thing is, okay, say you were offered it. But
I was
think,
nominated for it, but I didn't win.
No, what I really think happened is that you went out on Pirates.
I went back on the Pirates tour.
And so I think he chose that over doing some little off.
Well, no, I did. But I was asked Larry Carpenter. Larry, call in, write in, and set the record straight.
It's not like you did have somewhere else to go and read it, and it was like,
I decided to go back out on the Pirates tour because it was a lot of money. I was playing Frederick, which I did with Kurt Stam. Not that tour, but that's how I met Kurt originally. We did Pirates in Utah. That's how I met Kurt originally.
A small community. So then you, by that point, you weren't dating at that point. You just
barely spoke.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting in my hotel room and I watched her on the Tonys the following season, sitting alone in my hotel room in whatever city I was in on that tour, and thinking, wow, she's really cute. She's amazing. Wow, she's really talented. I should have taken that show. The guy got a Tony nomination.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Brian Lane Green. Yeah.
Well, so go ahead, Liz.
So I'm just really, I'll see how fast I can make this. Okay, so what happened was, years pass. Not that many years though.
No.
It was like 1989. At the end of '89, I was after Starmites, and I was okay, right. I was with some guy who was cheating on me.
Oh.
And I was very, very upset. And my friend came over one night, very late, and there was this guy named John Wallowich who used to have a cable access program where he would take requests over the phone.
He would sit on cable, him at a piano with horn-rimmed glasses and a tip jar, and a woman with scarves dancing behind. I mean, really
bizarre,
eccentric.
I mean, cable access.
Yeah.
So
with 3 people watching.
So my friend, I had just found out he was cheating on me. My friend came over with a bottle of wine. So we share this bottle of wine. We're flipping through channels, and here comes John Wallowich, and he says, and she dials him, and because
you could call in and make requests. He had a phone on the piano.
She dials him, and she goes, "Oh my God, he picked up!" And I hear him say, "Hello, John Wallowich," and there I am. It's just so bizarre that it would never happen that way now. But anyway, he said, "What would you like to request?" And I said, "When I Fall in Love," which was, I love that song. And he said, "Oh, would you like to sing it?" And I said, "Oh, no, E flat. So I sing it. And then afterwards, there's like 2 people in the studio, and they're like, all right, so I got to go. And he says, "Darling, you sound like you're a singer." And I said, "Yeah, I am." And he said, "What's your name? We'll come see you." And I said, "Liz." And he said, "Liz what?" And I said, "I don't have a last name." And I hung up. Oh. And so that was the end of that. So for
this is in the dead of winter, 2 a.m.
Yeah,
2 a.m.
2 a.m. in the morning. So 4 months later, a friend of mine offers me free tickets to the Met game that she couldn't use. And this guy, Sal Viviano, is singing the national anthem.
I've heard of him.
And I'm like, oh my God, Sal, he's dreaming. Oh my God, Sal. I'm going to go because I'm a big Met fan. So I happened to invite the girl that was there that night when I sang. Now, no one has mentioned that they've heard me online. I didn't give my last name. It was 2 a.m. There was no one listening to it. So we get to the Met game, and we're seated and he sings, and it's beautiful. And we're seated in one long line, 6 in a row. And I'm all the way at one end, and Sal is like the 3rd seat in. He comes back, he sits down. About in the 4th inning, he leans back and he says, "So Liz, have you sung on any cable shows lately?"
Oh my God.
And I was like, "Larry." She was like, "What?" I was like, "Did you tell him?" And she said, so he is to this day, the only person that heard me. The only person.
And you knew that voice? Like you knew.
I've got a weird bar trick that's worth no money that I can identify a voice. Patrick, if I heard your voice tomorrow on a voiceover, I'd say, "Oh, that's Patrick Ziegler." Yeah. And she'd say, "How do you know that?" It's just a weird memory thing. But I heard her. I was in my apartment in Chelsea with my then girlfriend, and it's the middle of the night. It's 2 a.m. and we weren't sleeping, and we weren't really watching the TV, but the TV was on, if you know what I mean.
He loves that detail.
I love that detail. No, but the fact that
him out of that moment, gal.
I arrested what I was doing, and I thought, that's Liz Larson singing. Yeah, that's Liz Larson. She says, who's Liz Larson and why are you telling me this? And that, I just stored it away, and then 4 months later. So we still didn't. We took the subway home that night after the Met game, and talked a lot. But I thought, she talks too fast. I can't keep up.
And I'm like, oh my God, Sal Viviano's talking to me. And I asked him at that point, it was 89 and Les Mis was wearing, and I go, Sal, you need to be in Les Mis because, his hair and his voice, and he's handsome.
This part I don't remember.
You need to play Marius. Oh my God. And he said, well, and he launched into an actor story about every
all right, edit.
every audition for Les Mis he had been through and what they
Missed
exactly
it by
said.
that much.
And I was like, oh my God, this actor. So, that was the end of us. So I was like, okay, he's an actor. I can't.
She's really cute, but I can't keep up. So like another half year goes by. A friend of ours, a mutual director friend of ours, David Armstrong, calls and said, hey, we're reopening this theater up in Cohoes, New York, which is like the armpit of the world. Sorry, Cohoes. But it really is. Really depressed area. We're reopening this theater.
Winter, too.
Yeah. And we're going to start with Romance. And, Sal, you love Romance. You were so good in it. I saw you. I said, well, no, I was doing a show off Broadway. Well, who would the girl be? Liz Larson. I thought, oh, well, she's amazing. She'd be great. But I'm going to keep doing the show I'm doing. So then my show closed. And then I remember going home and I asked my mom, I went home for Christmas and we're supposed to start in January, start rehearsal. And I said, got anything coming up? And I said, no. Well, I could do Romance again. But we had literally just done it on Broadway, the year before. And she said, well, why? She said, well, who would the girl be? Because my mom had seen the show too. I said, this girl, Liz Larson, and she's really cute. And I know she's going to get her hooks in me. I'm not going to be able to get away. I was right.
Nice.
Hooked.
Anyway, we did the show, and
other than Romance, you did Sunny in the Park with George together. Any other shows together?
Evita, we did together.
Oh yeah, Evita. We toured Evita a little bit.
That was fun.
As Ava and Che.
That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun too. And
go ahead.
No, just it was that was the first. Well, that was the second show we did together, Evita. And that was really, it was very satisfying, really, to play those parts. Again, if you get an opportunity to play those Hamlet kind of parts in the musical theater, they're so few and far between where there's one for both the man and the woman.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's just so fulfilling.
Right.
And we felt very lucky to get to do that together. All those shows.
We have some comments here, so I want to get to them. Fred Pug said, I saw Karen in Most Happy Fella. Sorry.
That's right.
Right.
That's so funny. Lynn Stella wants to know if you can sing that 8-bar, the Ham and Parasite 8 bars.
Ham and Parasite?
Paradise. I'm a stranger in paradise.
Oh, take my ham. I'm a strange little parasite. Something like that. Yeah.
There you go.
So
there you go, Lynn.
In a better key, though.
Henry is with us. Henry was with us last week too. Henry DiMederos is with us from Oakville, Ontario. So got somebody from Canada. And again, Pug says, I want to make sure. And Phil Stella's here too. He's this cute story.
Hey, Phil.
Pug wants you to know, Liz, that you made him look like a hero when you hosted the daughter of a client of his backstage at Beautiful. You paid some good attention to a friend of ours, to one of his clients' children.
Really?
Yeah. You toured her backstage. She was, I can't remember what her story was, but yes, you definitely made Puggy a very popular man for quite some time.
Was the daughter?
It was David. His name was Dave something, and her daughter, I can't remember.
Was he a musician?
Yes, he was a
musician.
Father?
Yeah. I love them. She's so sweet. We're still friends on Facebook.
Oh, that's so nice.
She's a really sweet, good girl.
So I want to know, in terms of, obviously we're talking about your creativity on stage with each other. I want to know how creativity in your life plays out off stage. Like, is your marriage creative? Like, how do you creatively like, how does creativity play a part in your day-to-day lives?
Well, I cook.
She does cook. I cook a lot too. We've kind of both cooked, but you cook more than I do. I make certain things, but she cooks more often. I don't know. I think we.
That's an interesting question.
We like decorating our home. We have this blue curtain.
I mean, you make probably laugh too. I would imagine that there's a lot of. I mean, I think about the ways in which my husband and I are creative in our communication and making each other laugh or surprising each other or something. I mean, there's just different ways to kind of communicate. And I just wonder, I mean, how long have you been married now?
26 years. 26 years. Yeah. Yeah.
So what are?
Well, he does make me laugh hysterically. I mean, he really does. He's very dry. He's very dry.
Wonderful. That's so important in a relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, she makes me laugh too. And
he laughs at me.
No, I both. I laugh at you and with you.
Okay.
I have a question around your Broadway journey, because it seems like it came relatively quickly from going into getting your equity card for the two of you. Am I getting that right? Because your first was Fiddler on the Roof and yours was Three Musketeers. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I got my equity card actually like a day after I moved to New York. I went to an open call instead of going to a restaurant to get a job as a waitress, and unbelievably got it. It was a children's theater tour of Swiss Family Robinson.
Oh my God.
But it happened to be produced by Fran and Barry Weissler, who were also on Fiddler on the Roof.
Wow.
Even though she fired me from the Swiss Family Robinson, but that's a whole other story. She fired me because I was so sick the whole time. She was like, "Look, you've got to get out. You're too sick to continue this tour." Because I was getting colds. We were traveling through Upper Peninsula, Michigan, in the middle of the winter, and I was in a halter top and bare feet.
Nice.
Around children. And around children.
Oh my God. I was so sick the whole time.
There you go. He's doing the Upper Peninsula.
Oh yeah.
Above the mitten.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she said, "You're done." So, but then she hired me again. She hired me right after that, about 6 months later, for Fiddler.
And she loves Liz, and they hired me too. So the Weisslers have been good to us in many ways.
So it sounds like your longest run on Broadway, Liz, was Beautiful. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh yes, by far.
What was yours, Sal? What was your longest run on Broadway?
That's a good question. Maybe Falsettos, I think. I don't really know. The longest I did a show was Pirates. I did like 1,200 performances.
Oh my God.
Pirates of Penzance on tour. Yeah, I mean forever.
So were you a replacement of the original cast for Falsetto? How did that work? Because I replaced the original cover who covered both Stephen Bogardus and Michael Rupert. Oh, wow.
I covered Whizzer and Marvin. It's like playing Tony and Maria.
Yeah.
And weirdly, the first time Steve was going to take a 2-week vacation 2 weeks after I got the job. So I barely touched on Marvin. I mean, I learned the music, but I had 2 weeks to prepare to go on for Whizzer.
Oh my God.
So yeah, 2 weeks is not a lot of time, but I was thrilled. And, I thought, great. So, all my staging rehearsals were concentrating on Whizzer. I had my put in on a Friday as Whizzer with the whole company. Fantastic. Went great. I came back Saturday, watched the matinee, and I'm focusing on Bogardus. And, these guys had originated these roles. So they inhabited them. They were them. And they're just amazing guys. So I watched the whole thing. I watched the matinee, and I thought, oh yeah, I was out of place there and there. I need to spin the table, taking those mental notes. And then I went and had a big dinner with wine because friends were in town because they were going to come and see me as Whizzer, a couple days later when we came back, because I think we had Sundays off that schedule and played on Mondays. So I come back to the theater at about 20 after 7 for for an 8 o'clock show. And the stage manager says to me, "Oh, Michael Rupert called in. You're on for Marvin tonight because Philip Hoffman, who was the first cover, was at a wedding. He had the day off for a wedding.
Another wedding.
Yeah, another wedding. I thought, you got to be kidding me. I thought for sure they were joking, but they weren't. And I had about 40 minutes before I went on for Marvin, which I just barely learned. But you know what? I went on for that part several times, and I was never better than that first night.
He was great. I ran and saw it. I ran there.
Because you didn't sweat it, right? Is that why?
You don't, and I could never do that at this age. But I think I was 32 or 30 something.
He doesn't sweat anything. This guy does not get nervous.
Do you get nervous?
Me? Yes. Yeah, I get nervous. In fact, a strange thing happened. This has never happened to me before. We did some kind of
a symphony concert.
A symphony concert together in Hartford.
Yeah, the day before, the night before our son graduated from the Hart School of Music.
Yeah, and we were there, and I didn't know it. Like, I just didn't know it well enough, and I blanked.
Oh,
like just blanked on a song that we have done for 20 years.
Well, literally, we had to tell. We were like telling over the orchestration part of our like history, our romantic history, and I'd say my line. It was all scripted. We'd written it out and rehearsed it, and I'd say my line, and then I look at Liz, and she was like,
"But I mean, I'm talking spot sweat, heart pounding, and after." 20 years of singing this song with him, and oh my God! But he was so
just made me laugh.
He was laughing at me.
I was like, "Wow!"
Say that.
That it made me laugh, Sal. Oh my God!
You're about to say this, aren't you?
It's not brain surgery, right? You know, everybody's going to get up out of the room and leave afterwards. We're all going to be okay.
And also, he'll conduct me on stage like for cutoffs. You know what I mean? Like, he's always on top of it.
A little more discreetly than that.
That's it. Okay.
We have must be a relative, Laura Viviano.
That's my brother Bob's one of his twin daughters. Hi, Laura, mother of 2 beautiful daughters.
So we are almost at the wrap up.
No, we can't be, because I have other questions.
So go.
Okay. I want to know about your children. Just that you are they both performers? I know I've seen one. So one's a performer, and the other, where is his brain? I know he's in school. What is his brain wanting to do in life?
Yeah, the younger one, Joey, is he is going to be a professional gambler, I think.
He's a junior at Syracuse studying communications.
Very good at gambling.
And a good golfer. And the older one
is a great golfer. But he is the one that is the natural talent in our family. Wow. Like, if he had really wanted to do this,
he's just funny. He doesn't get nervous.
Oh my God, he's so good. But he's like, ooh, you guys are, no, I'm not doing that. How can you do that for a living?
We still rope him into family songs every once in a while.
Yeah,
and Alessandro, our older son.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Our
Christmas, our legendary It Goes Bad Christmas songs.
When your older
goes from bad to worse.
And your older son is performing.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a union member.
Wow.
Proud union member.
Yeah.
He also writes. He plays guitar. He's stunning.
He's a great
can't
kid.
Even believe.
Very talented.
He's like 6'3". I mean, Sal's 6.
He's got his mom. What do I?
I look at him.
I'm 6 negative. The other.
I mean, I'm 5 nothing.
The kid is really talented, and thank God. And
he came out looking like a toddler. They lifted him up. I was like, oh my God, they're in college.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
Performer as far as an actor, singer, musician. He does all of that.
He's got it all. He plays guitar. In fact, he did. What was the $1 Million Quartet? He played Elvis last year, and $1 Million Quartet, playing his own guitar. I had no idea he played that well. I mean, he was really unbelievable. It was a great production.
A good friend is Levi Kreis, who won the Tony.
Oh yeah! Oh my God, he was great. He was amazing in that show. We loved him in that show.
Yeah.
Which is fun. When he won the Tony, he thanked my partner in our spiritual center in Chicago, which was pretty cool.
Oh,
congratulations! See, we didn't know you then, so
it was so funny because Greg Jabara won the year before, and then Levi won. It was like, okay, my friends are winning Tonys back to back. And now I have another friend nominated for 2 Tonys this year, which is amazing. So
who?
That you had on last week, right?
Yeah, Lindsay
for sound design. So
yeah, amazing.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's fun. We miss New York. So I guess, what is your wish for 2021? I mean,
to get back on stage, man.
Yeah.
To leave this house
I'm
and get
supposed
on
to.
stage and go to a rehearsal room and sing and hug someone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
It's been such a weird time
insane
for everybody.
For live stage
People that are used to gathering in groups and having that experience. There's nothing like it, as you both well know, and so many people that are listening know. That group dynamic, that handmade art with so many people in having a hand in it on a nightly basis, in a rehearsal room or in a theater or any. There's nothing else like that. There really isn't. And that experience is, we so miss it and crave it again.
I don't think people understand what's happening to the Broadway community, to the theater communities everywhere. There is a lot of pain and anguish.
Well, the ripple effects of it too.
Many people are affected. I mean,
I think that
so many industries and all the restaurants that support them and all the other businesses, the ancillary businesses that support the theater and that are around the theater and that rely on the theater attendance for their businesses as well. It's just it's gotta get better.
Especially,
is it Actors Equity? What's the Actors Fund? Is that it? That
yes, it supports
everybody.
Yeah, that's correct. It's a misnomer in the sense that it doesn't just help actors; it will help anybody in any part of the industry. If you're the guy that shovels the poop behind the horses in a parade, or you're a dresser, you're a lighting person, you're whatever you are, you can get help from the Actors Fund. They are a great organization. We've done countless benefits in the past, but even more so during this COVID situation, online like this.
And there's something, and that's great, and it's so wonderful. But there is something about you. There's an energy that you receive being 5 feet away or 10 feet away or 20 feet away from somebody that you just, it's nice to see you guys, but we just can't get it here.
I know
there's nothing else like it.
A visceral relationship between live audience and the people on the stage.
I'm going back to do my first symphony concert on New Year's Eve, actually in Florida, where you guys are right now.
Where?
In Jackson. I'll be with the Jacksonville Symphony New Year's Eve.
Way north.
Okay, way north.
And there's way north. But I've had 2 years of concerts canceled, coming just in anticipation of this. But they're trying to, we've been outlining different strategies that we can make it happen. We're going to be in full masks and 6 feet apart, everybody, a smaller orchestra to accommodate, to be able to fit on that stage. I'm not sure how it's going to work.
But people are doing it. You guys know Scott Coulter, right? Do you know Scott Coulter?
Yeah.
Sure, very well, of course.
He's a friend too. He's been on the show. He's out doing it. I mean, I know we've seen him doing a couple of shows in Middle America. Like they're all masked up.
Be done. Yeah,
well, that's what I was going to say is the thing that is going to be really starting out are one person shows, and a good married couple might be a really interesting idea for you guys to create something together.
We've thought about that
because we can inhabit the same space. And travel together. Yeah. That's a thought.
It does, but it also takes way more than just the two of us to put on a live show. And that's basically, it takes the whole crew and the lighting people and the sound people, and they have to be there too. So,
well, this is great, you guys. It went so quick.
I know.
Oh, we still have like 6 questions to ask, but maybe we'll get you guys back on for just a chill discussion, because it's so fun to hear just stories. It would be fun to have get Vicky on and Greg and you guys, and just let you guys chat Broadway. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
And we can tell all the stories of how we all first met each other.
Oh my God.
Pretty great.
Well, and Steve Wallen, because you guys did stuff with Steve, and then Paul Stewart.
Yeah.
You could get Paul Stewart in there.
Paul Anthony Stewart, Kurt Stam.
You also did the Life. Did you do that with Katie Grenfell? Do you know Katie Grenfell?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she did
Hairspray.
And she did Hairspray with Katie. Yeah.
I love Katie.
Yeah, she was wonderful in the Life.
She was doing great when you were doing Damn Yankees, and I was at the Roundabout, and I used to go bowling and play softball with all those guys on Broadway Show League, which was so much fun.
So much fun.
You guys were all probably in the same room at the same time.
Totally.
We probably were.
Yes.
We probably were.
Okay.
Oh my God, what a joy. So much fun. Wow. Thank you for having us on.
Thank you guys.
So great. It's nice to, I don't feel like I've really met you, Liz, right? Isn't this the first time?
No, they've never
we
met.
haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really,
Great.
I've seen you guys that do stuff. It's really nice to see you. And I'm hopeful that vaccines come and masks are worn and this national nightmare is over soon and we can see you both on the stage again.
Yeah.
Us too. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Teresa.
you. All right.
Thank you, Patrick.
We'll see you later.
Thank you, Fubble Time. Ding,
Thank
ding, 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 ding,
Oh,
ding, 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 ding.
Oh, and,
Gave us a heart. Greg's way. Greg.
oh, Julie,
Aw.
Greg Jabara's
Greg
wife.
Jabara.
Ah.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, Julie.
Hey.
Hey, Julie.
And Phil Stella says he thinks that your career is much more fun than his as a doctor.
I know he's a doctor. I wish I could save
He's
lives.
doing better than we are.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Phil, I'll take your bank account.
Yeah, I was gonna say that happened.
Oh, Liz, Elizabeth, everybody's showing up now, saying hello. And
Hello.
Elizabeth Kirk, who I went to school with.
Loved it.
Yay.
Very good.
Aw.
Thank you guys.
And thanks for showing up, everybody. Okay, you guys, we'll see you later. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, Teresa.
Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. I just feel like we barely scratched the surface.
I
'Cause
know.
they're so fascinating and they have so many stories and they are so amazing. Waving back to you, Julie Jabara. But anyway, next week we're continuing our theater month and we have, who's joining us next week?
The wonderful Tony Hammerkauser and Stephen Wallum. So
It'll be a great show. We've been interviewing couples all this month, and then we've got December lining up, January, February, and March. So we got lots of shows coming up for you, and we're liking these themes. So we've got themes coming down the pike, and we'll keep you posted. But for now,
gotta get out of here.
gotta go.
Gotta go. Bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Stella family.